So as I was saying this, you guys are welcome to PAXTU. It was the last home of the Scouts founder Baden-Powell. He lived here from 1938 till his death on 8th January 1941. It was a 3-roomed cottage. The room that we're in now was the sitting room. There's a room on the other side, which was his bedroom, and the one behind me was a guest room. There's a block door there and there. So it was a 3-roomed cottage facing Mount Kenya. If you look outside.
This is my organization.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a
really
Polish
nice.
uniform.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice.
So I don't have to take off my badges because you already have
We
it.
already have a representative.
It's a patrol leader.
Yeah. So
Nice.
the cottage faces Mount Kenya directly. Yeah, it was Baden-Powell's wish. It has a large veranda and there was a fountain there. So he would sit outside here and watch birds. And Baden-Powell served in the army in India and Southern Africa. So originally this place was owned by a friend of his who was called Eric Shabrukoka. They had served together in the army and he was his first personal secretary for the scouting for boys. And he owned the place. So he decided to build a cottage for Baden-Powell, which he would make his retiring home. So Baden-Powell started the scouting movement in 1907 and later the Girl Guide movement in 1910. He married his wife Olave in 1912 and they had 3 children, Peter, Ida and Betty. There's a photo of them here. He came to Kenya 3 times. The first time in 1907, the second time in 1935, and finally when he settled here in 1938. He had come to visit the treetop. We have a photo of the treetops there. So yeah, treetops is where Queen Elizabeth ascended the throne on 1952. So these artworks you see on the wall are Baden-Powell's original drawings. He was an artist and also an author. And PAXTU has a meaning. It's derived from Latin word pax, which means peace, and Swahili word tu, which means only. So PAXTU was to bring peace only to the Baden-Powells. So when they settled here, they wrote a mail to England and they said, "We finally here." Like he had a feeling that this was it. Like yeah. The first song was in London. It was called PAXTU. That's PAXTU. So he decided to call these PAXTU. Yeah. And we have his impression of PAXTU, like he drew PAXTU there. And the reason we have the Scout and the Scout Founders Day as 22nd of February is because they shared the same birthday with his wife. So instead of having different dates, they decided to merge the dates, and that's how they came up with 22nd of February. And he was 32 years older than the wife when they got married. He was 54 and she was 22. And yeah, they met in a ship and they fell in love. Yeah, so yeah, you can have a look on the outside. And you have these 3 chairs that he made. This one, that one and that one. Like he made by hand.
Himself?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Baden-Powell Historical Gardens, and we are lucky as Kenyans and Nyeri Scouts at large to have or to be the host of Olave Baden-Powell, even in the event of his death, together with his wife. Now, this historical garden, or basically the information center, was set aside so that we can disperse information not only to the Scouts but to any other person who might be interested in everything to do with the Scout movement. Olave Baden-Powell first visited Kenya back in 1906 when he was on a vacation, and when his vacation was over, he went back home. And after some time, that is now when he decided to visit Kenya for the second time, and this time he came together with his wife, Olave Powell. And that was back between 1935 and 1936. And now this time, when they came here and their vacation was over, they went back home. But when they were going back home, people would hear them express the good impression that they got here in Kenya, both in words and writing. And now come 1938, that is when they sat down and made a common decision that they would like to come and live here in Nyeri, Kenya for the rest of their lives. And even long before they came to settle here, Baden-Powell had his friend by the name Sir Eric Walker, who is the founder of the famous Petrox and also the Outspan Hotel. And he was actually his secretary back then between 1916 and 1918 in the Royal Army. Now that he had had his comrade want to come and live in Nyeri, Kenya, he decided to host him. And as such, since Baden-Powell would not have stayed in the hotel, he decided to build him a cottage just adjacent to the hotel. Baden-Powell came, commissioned the house, and he left some few pounds to assist Brooke Walker in completion of the whole thing. And after now the house was complete, Baden-Powell came together with his family, his wife Olave Powell, and his 3 children, that is now Peter, Heather, and Betty, respectively. And they lived here close to 3 years when now Baden-Powell was found asleep in his house. He actually passed on back in 1941, 8th January, 10 minutes past 6 a.m. in the morning. And of course, it was sad for us, sad for the Scouts and the whole fraternity. And eventually their family started doing burial preparations. And of course, their country and their commission, they were in constant communication with the Kenyan government. And at the time of his demise, they made all the necessary arrangement. And as such, Baden-Powell, it was his wish actually to be buried here in Nyeri, Kenya, at St. Peter's Cemetery. And but little did his family know that he had actually in his will indicated clearly that he wanted to be buried here in Nyeri. Their wish was if he could be buried back at home. But after now, when they saw the will, they decided to bury him here. And of course, they did not have much to do while here in Nyeri, Kenya. So they decided to move back into UK. The wife to Baden-Powell, Olave Powell, decided to continue with the work that her husband had left. That is now girl guiding, girl scouting as well as boy scouting. And later on, when their elder son, now Peter, came of age, he took that role of the father, and later on he was given a title by the Queen, Baron, and afterwards he became the second Lord Baden-Powell. Then after that, 6 years later, their mother also passed on, but in her will she had indicated clearly that she would like, when her time comes, her body to be cremated and the ashes to be brought all the way from UK up to Nyeri, Kenya, and be interred in the same grave as that of her husband. And that is what exactly happened back in 1977. And after now, all that happened, officially, the scouting movement in Kenya was started way back in 1910 at a place called Pumwani in Nairobi. And so at that time, as the Africans, we were not allowed to join the scouting movement. Only the Europeans and the Indians. But then, there were so many reasons as to why, as the Africans, we are not allowed to. But then there came a time when another troop was started at Eldoret. That was back in 1925. But for the very first time, the first African troop was started at Alliance High School by the name the First African or the First Kikuyu Troop. And that marked the commencement of the formation of the African troops, not only here in Kenya, but both in East and Central Africa, and then it did spread to the larger African continent. And back then the movement was referred to as the British Boy Scouts Association. But now we got our independence, the movement, or there was an amendment of an Act of Parliament, Cap 219, where the name changed from the British Boy Scouts Association to the Kenya Scouts Association. And up to date, the movement has grown overwhelmingly. Like last year, we had hit a target that we had set of having registered 1 million scouts.
1 million.
1 million scouts, making us the largest youth movement, not only in Kenya, but the larger Africa.
Oh.
And as such, the scouts that you can see around, they've all been donated or given by the scouts who happen to visit this place from various parts of the world, name it, from US, UK, and other parts of Africa, as well as these badges that are on this board. The majority of these badges were put here back in 2010, when Kenya was lucky for the first time to host for the first time in Africa the 13th World Scout Meet. So during that event was attended by more than 116 countries that practiced scouting in the world back then. So during their last stay here in Kenya, they felt that the whole event might be incomplete if they failed to come and pay tribute to the tomb of the founder. And as if that one was not enough, when they came here, they also saw it better to leave a mark. So the UK group donated the board itself, and then the other groups that we are here made sure that they've left a badge representing their country or even the region they've come from. And we are pleading with the Scouts or the Scouts fraternity, as well as our Girl Guides movement, wherever they find your time, can and pay tribute to the tomb of the founder, Olave Baden-Powell. And it's a good place. It feels awesome to see where our founder and our great father is laid to rest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Twamkumbuka mzee wetu twamkumbuka mzee Scout wema walimzika Baden-Powell. Twamkumbuka mama yetu Baden-Powell. Twamkumbuka mama yetu Baden-Powell. Change the step. Change the step. Change the step. Back. Change the step. Back. Change the step. Hands akimbo. Hands akimbo. Parade hot. Right hand raise up. Drop. General salute. Present hands. Promise.
On my honor, I promise that I do my best to do my duty, to order my country, to help other people across the German of business law.
Drop. Turn to the right and forward. Yes. So.